The first thing you'll notice about Ted Benson's new book is that it's simple black and white in the midst of an all-color world.
I think it's just a way of looking at things. You know, it's different, it's abstract, it tends to lean more toward the dramatic. It's not a comfort zone. You're used to seeing things in color, and when you see them reduced to black and white and scales of gray, it makes you think more about what's in the image.
It's the allure of trains, the power, the majesty, the size, the sound, the smell that captivates our attention. It fascinated our fathers and mothers, and it will fascinate our sons and daughters. Maybe it's because trains go from coast to coast and mountaintop to mountaintop. Maybe it's because trains don't stop running just because it's cold outside. Trains don't bed down for the night, they fire up. And the only thing that's nearly as interesting as the trains themselves are the people who work them. The eye, the mind, and the camera of Ted Benson brings the railroad to life.
Every shot's different. Sometimes it's just a simple depiction of this is a really pretty place, the light's just nice, and the only thing that would make it better is a train going by, and hey, the train just went by. Other times, if you're in a situation where there's a lot of human interest going on, say maybe like covering the last run of a passenger train, or the first run of an Amtrak train or something like that. The human activity is what's central to the story as opposed to the train. The train just kind of falls off into the background. The people are what make railroading the industry that it is, and you have people that have worked there all of their life, and once they get over the fact that you're not just another goofball with a camera, and they get used to you being there, and once you've got the access and the people open up to you, it's just, it's a piece of living history, and when, what you're trying to do is document that. And, I would have to say, some of the work is journalism, but, a fair amount of it is documentary as well. For me, telling the story of a railroad doesn't necessarily mean, there's the obvious story that you do have to tell in terms of the rolling stock and the equipment and the geographic locations, and it's all important, but it's that human element that, makes people want to work for a railroad, or people just have a avocational interest and just be, intrigued enough to want to, go down to the station and watch trains go by, or go out and, jump in the car and chase a freight train down the highway, or, sit on the side of a hill and wait 5 hours for the next one to roll by.
Ted Benson has been taking pictures of trains for nearly 30 years. His pictures are sort of like souvenirs. They complement his memories and ours. And he's as powerful with his pen as he is with his camera. A talented writer and photographer, Ted Benson wrote all the copy in the book as well. When we look at a picture, we all see what we want to see. What did Ted Benson see? What does he want us to see?
The real storytelling image that night was the two kids in the car, and they just, nothing posed about it at all. They were fascinated by the train, but terrified enough that they really didn't want to get out and get too close to. They were quite happy to stay in the car and watch the engine switch back and forth. And there's a lot of long hours away from home. There's a lot of isolation. You see the train go by and the engineer waves, and it's, oh, that must be the greatest job in the world. And what you don't see, 14 or 16 hours held away from home at your, the outside terminal waiting for a train to come in so you can go back home and get back to your family. There was just this image of this mother and her son just, transfixed in this window, and, the only thing that, mattered, was just, watching this train. They were just totally oblivious to everything around them. And that's one of my all-time favorite images right there. That just says so much, not just about the train and the railroad, obviously, but the parents going out with children and passing the love of trains on to the next generation. And it says a lot to me about my own childhood and growing up, and that's pretty much what drove that shot.
The book is the first in a Masters of Railroad Photography series, which will be published by Boston Mills Press. Thanks for being with us, and please join us next time for more Tracks Ahead.